Oh, what is the Upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXWrestleCast, run episode 164 by Wrestling Recap Show, and welcome to a pay-per-view review. We got NXT's Halloween Havok that took place in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and let's just get into the recap, baby. Let's see how good this show was, and they are kicking it off in a fashion that tickles my pickle, if you will, with the tables, ladders, and scares match, which is basically it's kind of like a TLC match, but not really. There are no, you don't have to climb the ladder to retrieve the championship or anything, so it's just a pinfall, but you are allowed to use tables, ladders, and or chairs. So, we have the North American Championship on the line. It's Tony D'Angelo defending against Oba Femi in the tables, ladders, and scares match. We get Tony hot out of the gate, spearing Oba through the barricade. That happened pretty much immediately. Tony is then choke slammed onto a chair. We get a near fall right there. Oba running uppercut puts Tony through a table. I believe that was in the corner. Pretty cool. D'Angelo using a chair as a shield against Oba's crowbar. That was a pretty fun spot right there. Femi using zip ties. The zip ties are back. Uses them to trap Tony onto the bottom rope. The family arrive to help, but all of them get dropped by Oba. And it's Rizzo left all alone with Oba. And Oba is stalking Rizzo. Tony flipping out. He breaks free. Saves Rizzo by spearing Oba out of the ring through a freaking ladder. My goodness, that was badass. Thumbs up for that. Oba with the mean pop-up powerbomb. Tony kicks out of that. Family help with a chair-assisted shatter machine. Tony spinebuster to Oba through a table, pins, and retains. Booyah. Nice way to kick off the show. Honestly, I really wish the family didn't assist Tony with the win right here. Just makes Tony look weaker, and the whole thing is Tony trying to overcome his fears of Oba Femi. He proved that, winning the championship, and I knew it was going to happen because of the table, ladders, and scares. Inevitably, someone was going to come in and shenanigan, but I really don't think it was necessary, man. I think Tony, he didn't need that shatter machine. You didn't need that. I think Tony saving Rizzo on his own would have been effective, more effective for me. But it is what it is. I felt they used a lot of weapons. There's a lot of getting slammed on the chairs. 2 ladders got broken, a couple of tables. So good use of the weapons. There were some mean bumps in that match as well from both guys. Really good action-packed opening matchup. 7.5 out of 10. We move on. It is Lexis King getting interviewed backstage. Lexis still can't find a corner man for the Heritage Cup match that he has coming up. King getting worn down by all of the rejection. A beacon of hope arrives. It's William Regal. Whoa. William happy to be in King's corner. So that is really cool. And also, I can't confirm this. I don't know if people are joking or if it is actually true, but is Charlie Dempsey William Regal's son? Because they look the same. They wrestle very similar to the way that Regal used to, so I think he might actually be his son, which would make this very, very interesting that William Regal is going to be in the corner against his son. So that is really cool. William Regal being back is really cool. We saw him a while ago. He kind of popped up there, and after his kind of strange AEW run, I don't really know if I liked his run in AEW. It was very strange, but he's back, and we'll see if he's sticking around this time around, but cool to see William Regal. And then we get Fatal Influence. They choose their matchup type. They spun the wheel on NXT. It was a spinner's choice, and they choose a gauntlet match as their match type. Very intelligent. So basically, they're going to have a 3-on-1 gauntlet for Kalani Jordan's championship. All members of Fatal Influence will be going in against Kalani. So a very smart choice right there of match type. We'll get to that one later. But first, it's Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez teaming up together against Stephanie Vacour and Julia. Stephanie and Julia, nice teamwork, a 619 drop kick combo, and then they lock in tandem submissions with each other, so you got some teamwork going on. Perez and Julia drop each other with face smacks, that's a good time. Perez dive to the outside, followed by a truss fall by Cora. Jade hits a top rope senton, Julia has to come in and make the save. Steph, nice spinning driver on Roxanne. Cora gets rocked with a stiff as fuck knee to the face. How you doing right there? That was stiff. Vakur sneaky tag in while Vakur hits Roxanne with an avalanche slam. Vakur awesome twisty dive, pins Roxanne Perez for the victory. Ooh, that's a big one. You just pinned the champion right there. Awesome to see Cora Jade back in there as my little microphone filter thing falls off. All right, here we go. Back in. Awesome to see Cora Jade, like I said, back in the ring. She was getting protected a lot from taking any big bumps. Roxanne was in there taking the bumps, so Cora, easing her way back in there, but she did the nice truss fall dive. She was good. She was good enough. Nice returning match for her, but a lot of the work was done by Roxanne. Really good work from her, and solid teamwork from both sides. I enjoyed that, but I am never a fan of these tag team matches on my pay-per-views. This is NXT level tag team match right here. This is a go home tag team match. It is nice to have Cora Jade getting in and getting some wrestling in, but this is not something I wanted to see on my pay-per-view, so I don't know, a 5.5, 6 out of 10. It was fine. It's just not pay-per-view worthy. And then we get Zarya. She appears again, this time high up in the crowd, looking very, very cool. She looks so cool. So cool. And then we get this funny segment of superstars trying to guess what's in the box. It's the Boogeyman, everybody. Remember the Boogeyman? He's the Boogeyman, and he's coming to get ya. It's pretty good. My wife was on the phone while this was going on, and she was having a hard time talking on the phone and watching this because it was, they have him in the box, and you can see the Boogeyman, and we're just watching like DIY. It was like touching his head and his eyes, and I think it was like Indy Hartwell was like, is that a head? Is that a head? And everyone's freaking out, and the Boogeyman pops out. That was some good shit right there. The Boogeyman, oh man. I was very into wrestling at the time when the Boogeyman arrived. Oh god. The fucking Boogeyman, man. My dad's girlfriend hated him. He would just eat the handful of worms. I told my wife about him. Like, she was already like, ew, he ate like a worm. I was like, bro, this guy used to take handfuls of worms, shove it in his mouth, eat, yum, 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 eat it up, and then he would spit out the chewed up worms into people's mouths. Like, what the fuck? The Boogeyman was a mess. And then, oh my god, I don't know if people remember Jillian. She was a female that hung around with JBL, and she had this disgusting, like, fucking, I don't know, growth on her face, and Boogeyman ripped it off her face and ate it, and it was like the most fake prosthetic ever, but that's the kind of stuff I grew up watching. So there we go. It's the Boogeyman, everybody. And let's clean our palates with an ambulance match. We get Ridge Holland versus Andre Chase. The fight quickly goes up the ramp, Chase using a real fake fire extinguisher, stunning Holland. Ridge with a nice power slam, grabs some kendo sticks and chairs, starts to go to town on Chase's back. Chase gets revenge, cracks Holland with the kendo sticks and the chair. Yeah. The Chase used stomps and a nice crossbody dive by Mr. Chase. Holland exposes the floor, so you know what happens. He's the one to bump on it, as is tradition. Chase DDT to Holland on the announce table, and that table does not break. Just a hard thud right there. How you doing? Chase slams a pumpkin into Holland's tummy. That probably hurt. You know what? Pumpkins they're dense. Chase leaps off the ambulance, nails Ridge with a dive. Holland able to escape the ambulance, clawing at Chase's eyes as he tries to close the door on him. Holland hits Mr. Chase with the ambulance door and the Redeemer. Holland puts Chase away in the ambulance, closes the door for the W. I think that was an enjoyable grudge match right there. Chase, really good performance in his return. He was fired up, looked really good. And Holland looking really strong. Could he now be on the move as a title contender now? It seems, I would imagine that this would be it with him and Chase U for at least a little bit. So is Ridge Holland going to become a title contender now? Also, could this be the end of Chase U? We'll have to wait and see what the fallout is going to be, but I don't even think any of the Chase U members came out throughout this match, which I appreciate. I like that, but even none of them coming out after the match to check on Chase. I don't know. Maybe there will be a potential breakup. I don't know, I hope not, because the Chase University is a awesome gimmick. I love it. So hopefully they don't break up and they can regroup, rebound, maybe get back into the title or the tag team championship picture and see what happens with Chase U. But I am a little bit concerned that they could maybe get broken up, and I don't want that. But now we have the gauntlet match for the Women's North American Championship. Kalani Jordan defends against Fatal Influence, all three members. So Jasmine Nix starts off first for Fatal Influence. Kalani with a picture-perfect springboard moonsault and a 450 splash defeats Nix. JC Jane is up next, taken out quickly with a twisty splash by Kalani. But Kalani tweaks her knee, giving Jane a target. Kalani with the roll-up with a bridge sneaks out the pinfall on Jane. JC Jane is pissed. She blasts Kalani with a cheap shot. Henley quickly in next to take advantage of a down Kalani. Jordan counters Henley's counter with a leg drop slam. I like that a lot. Thumbs up. Kalani nails the split-legged moonsault, but it's Nix and Jane's distractions, allowing Henley to recover and counter Jordan's 450 splash. Henley hits the Shining Wizard, pins, and new Women's North American Champion. It is Fallon Henley. Fuck yeah. Right there, really good run for Kalani Jordan as champion. I mean, I won't say it was like the most memorable run. She didn't really have the biggest spotlight. She had her title defenses, and they were really good. Every match she had was a good match. She works well with everybody. Her future is very, very bright. She has lots of potential, but we'll see where it goes for Kalani Jordan next. Is she going to stick around in the North American Championship thing, maybe deal with Fatal Influence, and if she fails, can't get the title back, maybe she moves on to the NXT Women's Championship scene, which would be fine with me. I don't think they need to rush Kalani. She's very, very young, so it would make sense to me if they keep her in the North American title picture. I think that would be fine for me. But Henley, oh baby, I am so happy for her. This is what I was hoping was going to happen, that Henley would go in last and get the win, because Fallon Henley is so deserving of this. She is an incredible talent, highly underrated on the NXT roster. Every match I see her in, she's very, very impressive, very good, excellent wrestling. So very happy that she gets the win there. Thumbs up for that. But there is most definitely going to be problems within Fatal Influence over who's going to be holding the championship. Like, obviously, they're going to be like, Nix is going to be like, oh, I softened her up. And Jane will be like, well, I cheap shotted her. That's the only reason why Henley got the win, and Henley's going to be like, well, I pinned her. I get to wear the championship. So there's definitely going to be a situation with them. I can't wait to see how all that works out. Maybe they actually get along at first and everything's okay, and they're handing over the championships. Oh, it's okay. But then at some point, they're going to get jealous, and they're going to want to hold it, and it's going to be interesting. But the gauntlet was nicely set up. Good storyline, like obviously Nix comes in, kind of softens her up. JC Jane with the cheap shot. Yeah, I like the way that they set it up. Made Kalani look like a beast, and it was the perfect way for the Mean Nasty heel group to get the belt away from her using, their smarts. 3-on-1, the stacks are against Kalani, so I don't think there's any worry about her, looking bad losing this match. It was a 3-on-1, so everyone's protected. Everything was well done. 7 out of 10. And we're already here. It's main event time. It is the Devil's Playground match. The Devil. It's for the NXT Championship. Trick Williams defends against Ethan Page. Ethan tells Vic he looks like a dumbass. So Trick is what's his name? Vic is wearing like I don't know. It kind of looks like he picked up one of those Halloween kind of suits at a Hot Topic maybe or something like that. And Ethan Page tells him that he looks like an idiot. Meanwhile, there's a kid on the other side wearing the exact same outfit as Vic. So Ethan Page Do you think that child is an idiot? How dare you? All right, let's get into the match. Trick puts a pumpkin on Ethan's head and delivers a nice head kick, knocking the pumpkin off his head. Crowd chanting, "Whoop that pumpkin," so they liked it as well. Trick, chair wrapped around his throat, gets thrown into the ring post and planted onto a chair by Paige. Trick kicks out. So, with the Devil's Playground match, it's falls count anywhere, no rules. So yeah, you can do anything. You can pin him on the floor, pin him out in the freaking parking lot if you want to. No rules. Paige slamming Trick numerous times onto the chair. Trick shot connects. Paige grabs the ropes. Referee breaks the count, but technically he was not supposed to. So that was a mistake. Ethan even kicked out way too late just to try and help that situation out, but the referee right there kind of just helped out Ethan Page. And then Ethan pours out a bag of, they say, nuts and bolts. There were no bolts in there. It was a few nuts and mostly washers. Pours that all out over the ring. And I don't even remember anyone taking a bump necessarily into that. I know there were some bumps that were in and around it, but I don't remember straight up someone taking a bump into that. I didn't write it down. I don't remember it. Anyway, Trick thrown into the stairs, and he pops his real fake blood cherry. He definitely pops a blood packet in his mouth, but it was not enough. He must have swallowed most of that blood because that blood went away fast. There's a little trickle, a little bit of blood stain on his teeth, and it was gone. So maybe an extra blood pack or 7 that would have helped out. Ethan hits an Ego's Edge off of the steps through the announce table. That was awesome. Thumbs up. Trick getting checked on by medical due to internal bleeding. There's no fucking rules, y'all. Get the hell out of here. Trick refuses medical attention, goes into the ring, and immediately gets slammed into the steel steps. Really hard. Just the bottom half of his back, just right into the corner of the steps. Ugh. Thumbs up. That was a nasty-ass bump. Ethan attempts to smush Trick's head between the steps, basically tried to kill a man. Trick avoids that. Trick does not avoid the ding-ding kick from Paige. Oh, dear. But Trick answers back with his own low blow. So there you go. Trick hits Ethan with the steel steps, hits another trick shot, pins, and retains. Yeah. Quality main event match right there. I did not like the doctors getting involved. There are no rules. Leave the match alone. That reminds me of that fucking Hell in a Cell with Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. And the referees coming in to and ending the match and shit. That was so fucking stupid, and I didn't like this one either. There's no reason for medical to go check on him. It's a Devil's Playground match. You don't do anything until the bell frickin' rings. Ugh. And also, Trick probably should have had an extra blood pill or pack or whatever the hell. That would have made that moment a lot more effective. It kind of fell flat because it just wasn't enough blood. And honestly, the bump that he took, I think he just kind of ran tummy first into the steps. And yeah, I don't know. It didn't go over well for me. Trick had a good performance overall. He took bumps on pretty much every foreign object in sight, on the chairs, the tables. Paige, really good work throughout with just that touch of craziness that he has. Really good stuff. I like this main event match. There definitely was some stuff that pulls it back a little bit from being a banger. 7.5 out of 10. Trick's celebration is spoiled by Ridge Holland. Oh no, he's attacking the champion from behind. Ethan Page aggressively assisting Holland in the beatdown, and it looks like Ridge Holland is front runner for a match against Trick Willie. And it also appears that Ethan Page will still be lingering around. I don't think he's done just yet, but Ridge take the front spot right now. Makes sense. He just had a big pay-per-view win. He's been winning consistently, destroying Chase U week after week. So there you go. Answered my question right there. Looks like Ridge Holland will be in the World Championship picture. I like that. I like that opponent against... it sounds like that'll be a good one. I don't think the match will be anything special. Ridge Holland versus Trick. Neither of these guys can really hold a match on their own, so we'll see how that match ends up going. Maybe it ends up being a triple threat and they throw Ethan Page in there. That would definitely help it out. Anyway, that's the end of the show. I thought it was a pretty good show throughout. No big lows or anything. Nothing was bad, but also no real, standout matches either. There was nothing I was like, oh, that was a fucking banger right there. Even the table, ladders, and scares match, because what took it away from being a real banger is the fact, if they had that title hung up and you had to go up and get it, that would lead to a lot more bigger bumps, and that just would have made the match a little bit better. It was still really good, but yeah, there were no real bangers on this card. But again, nothing bad, which is good. I wasn't a fan of Roxanne Perez being in a tag team match instead of defending her title. I mean, it's just, that should have been on NXT. That should have been a go-home NXT match. And then they could have had rather Roxanne versus Julia, or Roxanne versus Stephanie Vacour, or a triple threat, or a fatal four-way, throwing Cora Jade. Why the fuck not? Regardless, you should have had Roxanne Perez defending her title. I'm not a fan of that. My favorite match might have been the Gauntlet match, honestly, because I'm just so happy for Fallon Henley. I like the way that match was designed. I love the choice of the Gauntlet match. That's just brilliant. I really enjoy what they did with that. So, yeah, that might have been my favorite, well, more so my favorite moment. My favorite match would be the table ladders and scares. But there was a nice mix of matches. You had the ladders, you had the Devil's Playground, you had an ambulance match, a tag team match. I feel like they could have definitely fit another match on the card. My wife was telling me that Triple H has planned to add more matches to pay-per-views. This one, I believe, is Shawn Michaels, so I don't know if he's on that same page as well, but you definitely could have had another match in there. There was quite a bit of fluff in between. You know, there was stuff for SmackDown and Raw they were showing off. So yeah, there was definitely a bit of fluff in there. Easily could have fit another match. But there are some interesting storylines emerging out of the show. I mean, what's next for Kalani Jordan? Is she going to move on to the next championship, or is she going to stick around in the North American Championship scene? That's where I think she should be. There's no rush with Kalani. She will get that NXT championship at some point. But I would be fine with her sticking around. Maybe a second run as North American champion would be fine. Or even a tag team championship. That could be good too. And how long until Fatal Influence implode? That's got to be inevitable. They're building up hype for the in-ring debut of Zarya. I'm pretty excited. I don't believe I've ever seen her wrestle. And what's next for Obafemi, man? Like, what's going to happen with him? Is he going to challenge for the NXT championship? Is he going to head up to the main roster? I don't know, man. Like, I think he's in a really good spot right now in NXT. I would keep him there. He should get that NXT championship run. And I think he's probably done now with Tony D. I think that's pretty good. He's got defeated by Tony twice. Move on, and I think that would be fine. Where does he go? Well, obviously, I think Ridge Holland he's got Trick right now. So maybe Oba takes a little break, comes back at some point. We'll see what happens. Very interesting to see what's going to happen with Obafemi next. And overall, I think it was a pretty good show. Nothing special, but nothing bad. I'm going to hit it with a 6.5 out of 10. Really solid show. But do I recommend it necessarily? I mean, not really. I don't think it's necessarily one of the must-watch pay-per-views of the year. The Halloween theme wasn't even all that strong either. Like, the set was fine. They had they had the pumpkins. It's just the WWE sets now are a lot smaller. Even like on the main show, they've made the stage a lot smaller to fit in more people, which is fine. But outside of the Boogeyman thing, there was really nothing Halloween-like. They did have a table ladders and scares match. There was a pumpkin with the ambulance. But yeah, not all that crazy on the Halloween theming of the show. The crowd was okay. They weren't overly crazy in Hershey, Pennsylvania, so they didn't, but there wasn't all that much to get all that crazy about. They got crazy when it was time, but yeah, I don't know. It was a fine show. I wouldn't say you have to go out of your way to watch the whole thing if you haven't watched it yet. If you want to watch a couple of matches, I would say check out the fun ones, like the Devil's Playground. The ladder match was pretty damn good. Opening and closing matches. If you only have a little bit of time to watch, that's what I would watch. Overall, fine show. Let me know what you thought of the show. Was it okay? Was it mediocre? Was it good? Did you like it? And because you know what, the last pay-per-view, what was it, Wrestle Dream? I liked that show a lot, and I went to work and I was talking to a buddy at work. He hated it. He's like, "Oh, what a terrible show." I'm like, "Really?" I thought it was really good all the way through. Like, yeah, there was no like banger. There was a match of the year contender on there, but I really liked that show. So I don't know, maybe I do grade on a curve when it comes to pay-per-views. I'm harder on the pay-per-views. I demand more out of my pay-per-views. I don't want any just regular ass matches like the tag team match. That's a regular ass match that's not pay-per-view worthy to me. So I grade harder on pay-per-views, definitely. But, yeah, I thought the show was good. Let me know what your favorite matches were. What was your least favorite match? For me, tag team match, straight up. Just didn't need to happen. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. A solid show. Excited to see what's going to happen in the fallout of NXT. A lot of storylines to get going. So there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more of the best, make sure you're reviewing the podcast. Share it around with 8,000 of your friends or so, and that would be awesome. I upload all of these episodes over on the YouTube channel, Gamer GX Videos. Links are in the description. I got a Twitter page. I know Twitter's not popular anymore. I've been debating jumping over somewhere else. If you have a suggestion as to which one, I know there's like this Threads thing that's popping up. There's some new shit popping off. I don't know. I haven't been on Instagram before. I don't know if that's still cool, but, let me know if there's one that would be better, because Twitter it's not very good from what I'm told. I'm not a big Twitter guy. I just post shit. I don't really look at anything on there. And there's also an email address. If anyone wants to have a private conversation, my door is open for everyone and anyone. And there we go. In terms of what else we got going on with the podcast this week, I got a special Halloween, GamerCast episode coming out on Halloween. So the GamerCast will be a little bit early this week. It won't be coming out on Friday or Saturday. We'll drop that on Thursday. HockeyCast will be tomorrow on Wednesday. And sorry that this one's coming out a day later. I wanted it out yesterday, but I couldn't get it done, so I have to get it out today. So apologies for that. Yeah, the HockeyCast will be a good one tomorrow. We'll be talking about them Toronto Maple Leafs and a whole bunch of other teams. Lots of cool shit going on in the NHL right now. So we're going to have a good conversation, a nice, calm conversation about the Leafs tomorrow, and that'll be fine. So be on the lookout for that. Stick around with the GX Plus cast, and we will be back with some more GX Plus cast.